Have you ever looked at a friend, or maybe even at yourself in the mirror, and heard those four simple, devastating words? Why don't you just leave? It sounds so easy, doesn't it? Like walking out of a movie you don't like. But if you've ever been on the inside of a toxic relationship, you know it's not like walking out of a room. It's like trying to amputate a part of your own soul. The logic of your friends and family bounces off an invisible wall, a force field you can't explain but can feel in your bones. They see a fire, and they tell you to run. You feel the heat. You know you're getting burned, but you're also mesmerized by the flame. This is the central, heartbreaking paradox we need to understand. Why do we stay? Why do we find ourselves protecting the very person who is causing us pain? The answer isn't weakness. It has nothing to do with a lack of intelligence or self-respect. The answer lies in the invisible glue that holds these dynamics together, a powerful psychological cocktail of hope, fear, and familiarity. To understand it, we need to look at the survival roles we unconsciously step into. These aren't just behaviors. They are entire identities we build to make an unbearable situation feel bearable. The first, and perhaps the most common, is the fixer. The fixer operates on a powerful and addictive drug called hope. You see the brokenness in your partner not as a red flag, but as a project. You are the architect of their redemption, the one person who truly understands them. Your internal monologue sounds something like this: they just had a rough childhood, or if I can just show them enough love and stability, they'll change. You plan the perfect date nights. You buy the self-help books for them. You moderate your own reactions to keep the peace, believing that every effort is a deposit in the bank of a better future. The psychological driver here is a desperate need for control in a situation that feels utterly out of control. By believing you can fix them, you give yourself a purpose, a vital role. The relationship isn't just a relationship, it's your mission, and the brief moments of peace or affection you get in return. They don't feel like normal moments. They feel like evidence. They feel like a victory. See? It's working. My love is healing them. This small reward is enough to make you forget the 100 moments of pain that came before it. You're not just in love with them. You're in love with the person you believe they could be, and you've made it your life's work to bring that person to the surface. It's a beautiful, noble, and utterly exhausting tragedy. Now let's talk about the next pattern, which often lives right alongside the fixer. This is the minimizer. While the fixer is focused on the future, the minimizer is an expert at rewriting the present. This is the person who lives by the phrase, "It's not that bad." Their mind is a master public relations firm for their partner's toxic behavior. Did they yell at you in front of your friends? Well, they were just really stressed from work. Did they disappear for hours without a text? They just need their space sometimes. It's not a big deal. The minimizer is constantly grading their relationship on a curve, comparing it to imaginary worst-case scenarios. At least they don't hit me. At least they're a good provider. This isn't just about making excuses to others. It's a profound act of self-deception. The psychological mechanism at play is called cognitive dissonance. It's the profound discomfort we feel when our beliefs, "I'm a smart, valuable person," clash with our actions, "I'm allowing someone to treat me poorly." To resolve this discomfort, it's psychologically easier to change your belief about the situation than to face the terrifying task of leaving. So, you convince yourself it's not abuse, it's just passion. It's not neglect, it's independence. You shrink the reality of the pain until it's small enough to live with, because the alternative, admitting the full scale of the disaster, feels like it would destroy you. You become an expert at finding the single ray of sunshine in a hurricane and calling it a beautiful day. This is how you can find yourself explaining to a concerned friend why a week of silent treatment was actually a misunderstanding, and you truly believe it as you say it. Your survival depends on believing it. And here's where it gets even more complicated and painful. There's a third role, one that often underpins the other two. This is the self-blamer. The self-blamer has absorbed a deeply toxic lesson. If something is wrong, it must be my fault. When their partner lashes out, their first thought isn't, "This is unfair." It's, "What did I do to provoke this?" They walk on eggshells, not just to avoid a fight, but because they genuinely believe their missteps are the cause of the explosion. If their partner is moody, it's because they weren't cheerful enough. If their partner is distant, it's because they were too needy. They are constantly editing themselves, their words, their needs, their very presence, in a futile attempt to create a stable environment. This might sound like a complete loss of power, but psychologically, it's a twisted grab for it. Think about it. If the abuse is random and senseless, then you are truly helpless, a victim of chaos. But if the abuse is your fault, well, then you have a measure of control. If you just become perfect enough, more patient, less demanding, quieter, funnier, sexier, then the pain will stop. You become the problem, because becoming the solution feels possible. This is why you might find yourself apologizing for their bad behavior. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. I know you're tired." You take the blame because, in a strange and heartbreaking way, the blame feels safer than the truth. The truth is that you can be the perfect partner and still be treated terribly. The truth is that you are not in control of their actions, and that truth is often too terrifying to face. These roles, the fixer, the minimizer, and the self-blamer, are not conscious choices. They are survival strategies, armor we put on to withstand an emotional war zone. Often, a person will shift between all three, sometimes in the span of a single day. You might start by trying to fix a problem, then minimize the damage when it fails, and end by blaming yourself for the whole mess. This cycle is the engine of the toxic relationship. It's what keeps you running on a treadmill of hope and despair, always believing that the next step will finally lead you to solid ground, never realizing that the ground itself is designed to crumble beneath you. Understanding which of these roles you tend to play is the first step to understanding the invisible glue that's been holding you in place. It's the beginning of seeing the cage, not as a shelter, but as what it truly is. But where do these roles even come from? Why would a person naturally gravitate towards fixing, minimizing, or blaming? The answer, almost always, is that this isn't your first time playing this part. The script was written long ago, in childhood. Think of your childhood home as the place where your emotional thermostat was set. If you grew up in an environment that was consistently warm, safe, and predictable, your thermostat is set to comfort. You instinctively recognize emotional cold fronts and move away from them. But if you grew up in a home with emotional chaos, a moody parent, unpredictable anger, conditional love, your thermostat is set to a completely different temperature. Your nervous system isn't calibrated for peace, it's calibrated for crisis. You learned to read the subtle shifts in a person's tone, to anticipate an outburst, to make yourself smaller to avoid conflict. You became an expert emotional meteorologist, constantly scanning the horizon for the next storm. So when you find yourself in a chaotic adult relationship, it doesn't feel entirely foreign. It feels, in a deeply unsettling way, like home. The drama, the walking on eggshells, the cycle of blow up and makeup, it's a language your body already speaks fluently. A healthy, stable, and calm relationship can feel boring or even suspicious. Peace can feel like the eerie quiet before the other shoe drops. You might even find yourself provoking a fight just to break the tension, because the feeling of crisis is more familiar and therefore more manageable than the feeling of peace. You're not addicted to the pain. You're accustomed to the pattern. Your emotional blueprint tells you that this is what love, or at least intimacy, is supposed to feel like. And here's where it gets even more insidious. Over time, the relationship hijacks your entire sense of self-worth. It starts slowly. You cancel plans with a friend because your partner is having a bad day and you feel you need to be there. You stop pursuing a hobby because it caused an argument once. Your world, once broad and full of your own interests and people, begins to shrink. It constricts until the only thing in focus is the relationship itself. Your identity is no longer defined by who you are, but by who you are in relation to them. Are you the one who can calm them down? The one who understands their pain? The one who is strong enough to endure their worst moments? This becomes your new purpose, and the reward system in your brain gets completely rewired. A simple compliment from a stranger means nothing, but a rare moment of kindness from your partner after weeks of coldness, that feels like winning the lottery. This is what's known as trauma bonding. The intermittent reinforcement, the unpredictable switching between cruelty and affection, creates one of the strongest bonds known to psychology, even stronger than consistent kindness. Your value is no longer inherent. It becomes something you have to earn, day after day. You are constantly auditioning for the part of someone worthy of love, and the person who is hurting you is the sole judge. Leaving doesn't just feel like losing a partner, it feels like losing your entire identity. It means admitting that the mission you sacrificed everything for, fixing them, enduring it, proving your worth, was a failure. This reveals the deepest, most uncomfortable truth about why we stay. The constant drama, the fight for survival, becomes a powerful distraction from a much deeper fear, the fear of facing yourself. When your every waking moment is consumed with managing another person's emotions, anticipating their needs, and recovering from their attacks, there is no time for you. There's no time to ask, what do I want? What are my dreams? Who am I when I'm not fighting for this? The pain of the relationship, as terrible as it is, gives you a clear sense of purpose. Your life has a problem to solve. Leaving means stepping into a quiet, empty room. And in that room, you have to finally confront your own feelings, your own history, and the terrifying, liberating question of what to do next. The toxicity, in a twisted way, can feel safer than that silence. It's the devil you know. And stepping away from it means facing the unknown void of your own life, a life you may have been running from for years. The identity of the survivor or the fixer is a heavy one, but it's an identity nonetheless. Letting it go can feel like a death. It requires you to believe that you can be someone else, someone more than just a person who is good at enduring pain. And that requires a leap of faith that feels almost impossible. So I want you to take a quiet moment right now. No judgment, no shame, just a moment of honest reflection. Think about the roles we've talked about. Which one do you see yourself in? Are you the fixer, constantly pouring your love and energy into a bottomless pit, believing your effort alone can change another human being? Are you the minimizer, the master storyteller who can shrink a mountain of pain into a molehill of misunderstanding? Or are you the self-blamer, carrying the weight of someone else's brokenness as if it were your own fault? Recognizing your pattern is not an admission of weakness. It is the first, most courageous act of taking your power back. It's the moment you stop looking at them and start looking at yourself. It's the first step out of the fire and onto the path of figuring out why you were drawn to the flame in the first place. The journey out isn't about leaving them. It's about returning to yourself. If any of this resonated with you today, and you'd like to explore these patterns more deeply, I'd really appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell. It helps this community grow and reach others who might need to hear this too. Thank you for being here.